What is good, Counter-Strike fans? Welcome back to another episode of my HLTV Fantasy. We are finally back. Apologies for being gone so long, but we're going to be talking about the last big event. I think there's one more in Blast Rivals, so two more fantasy events before the major, which will end the season fantasy-wise. But yeah, we're talking about group stage for IMG Chengdu 2025. Let's just take a look back at how I did, and just really quickly, been very busy recently, so have not had time to even play fantasy. I mean, I even missed the playoffs for ESL Pro League Season 22. Didn't even play that event, as you can see. 13 out of 14 games played, so missed out on some key valuable points. Did poorly at Thunder Pick. That was again another quick team that I put in for PGL Masters as well. Did okay. This whole event was a little bit weird, as it was the whole event rather than a group stage and then the playoffs. I believe Aurora won that. But for Chengdu, we could look at the group stages. So a lot of the big teams are going to be here. So keynotes, Mongols, Sensu left Mongols, or I guess they benched them for unknown reasons right now. And they brought in, I believe, Controls. I just don't expect Mongols to go very far here, even though it is in Asia, and there might be a lot of Mongol support, a lot of Tyloo. Falcons also get a lot of support there. Donk gets a lot of fans there. Lin Bishan, and maybe Face. Those sort of teams are pretty popular over there in China. But yeah, I'm gonna expect Mongols to do much here. Out of this upper quarter of Group A, or upper half of Group A, it's probably gonna be Navi making it to the upper final, and then maybe Astralis could make a run in the lower bracket if Device is there. But Device also has issues with his health issues, and him traveling to Asia has not been great for him personally. So I'm not sure on that. Um, I could I could probably see just the Navi making it to the next stage of the playoffs by making it over all the way to the upper final. For the lower side of Group A, I mean, it's got to be Falcons and Spirit. Those are the two main teams. It can be interchangeable who's going to make it to the upper final, but whoever doesn't, I expect them to basically make it all the way through and win the lower final. Um, any upset teams, maybe Heroic, and that's it. Maybe Astralis, but otherwise, it should be my favorites here are Navi, Falcons, and Spirit. For Group B, I think this is the tougher group. Um, for the upper side of Group B, it's a 50-50 again. Fury or G2. Fury has been in better form. They won a couple events now. Meanwhile, G2 has been past their honeymoon a little bit, but they did have quite a bit of time to regroup and come into this event to put in up a good performance to make it to the major. I mean, not make it to the major, but going into the major. G2 are facing 3D Max, who they lost to recently. Fury should win this easily. G2 should win this easily. They should meet in the upper semifinals. And you know what? Maybe we can see a G2 upset. I know their matches are basically 50-50, and it really depends on the day. So maybe G2 upset and get to the upper finals. Maybe it's Furia and they make it to the upper finals. I do expect G2 to make a run in the lower finals, so they could be a team that makes it to the playoffs. And then for the lower side, Mouse versus FaZe. Very interesting game. Twist is in Mouse. I mean, Twist is in FaZe, and he's been amazing. He's been probably a top 3 player ever since he's joined FaZe. But Mouse are a very strong team, and FaZe can be a little bit up and down, and I just don't think the Jacob move was right for what they're looking for. I think they're in an all-in win move right now. They got Frozen, they got Twist. That's a very strong riflers. I think Rain would make more sense in this team than Jacob. But so I do see Mouse beating FaZe here, and then Vitality should destroy Burst Pro. Vitality should run this whole group, and they should win it eventually, probably against Furia or G2. And then for the lower bracket, we could see a Mouse, FaZe, G2, Furia in this lower final. It really depends. That's why it's a little bit tougher for Group B to call, because it's probably going to be Vitality and that's it. That's the only thing I could see that is gonna make it to the playoffs out of this group. Everyone else is kind of iffy. Like you have Furia, G2, Mouse, and FaZe that, you know, on their day can beat one another. But enough about that. We can talk about the most picked players real quick. And as you can see, Tanier is getting chosen about a one fourth of the time, so about 25% ish. Apex as well, and Flamesy from Vitality, Kicksang and Nico from Falcons, Chopper from Spirit, alongside Tanier, and then Controls and Twist because of his high ratings ever since he's arrived in FaZe. Let's talk about the players individually. For Vitality, there is a little bit of value here. I wouldn't say much. Saibu at 235. There are a lot of cheap players in this event, so Saibu wouldn't be the worst. But I feel like he always does better in playoffs, like I mentioned. I also like Robs and Flamesy at those prices. Robs because he's consistently the second best player in this team, and Flamesy because he has pop-up potential, especially against Burst Pro, who they should farm quite easily. Would not pick up Messi at 211. He's been a little bit downward trend. He's probably gonna be better in the playoffs. And then Apex at 286. I think you can probably find a better player for that price. For Furia, I would say Yuri is not bad. He's gonna face a lot of top opposition, and he's always good. But otherwise, the rest of the team is a little too expensive for me. They're not assured to make it to the playoffs and do quite well here. So Kisarada and Molloy, while they're good and they get good ratings, they're just a little bit too expensive. Jakindar is an option if you want to go a little bit differential than Jury. And Fallen at 185, I wouldn't do either. For Mouse, this team is just, I don't know, this team is just kind of just there. They haven't done much recently, and they don't really excite me. If you want to go someone, maybe Jim Hat or Torshi, if you expect Mouse to do so, but they're going to have to face both FaZe and then probably Vitality back to back. That's just not a lot of rating for them there. Definitely avoid Broline at 197 for sure. Mongoose, when we thought Asia CS was back, it's gone again. I mean, they could, their group is not the hardest, and they could, win out and make it to the playoffs, I guess, in Asia, in an Asian event. But Controls, he's not a rifler. He's not this youngster that's coming in and, give him at least some upside. I mean, he's an IGL for Chinggis Warriors previously, I believe. Not great. I mean, Blitz probably gonna be IGLing, but what's he gonna do? Honestly, I mean, Blitz will probably take a lot of Sensu's roles. I would guess maybe that between Blitz, Techno, and Messinho would do, and you have to have 9-10 basically carrying you. I just don't have excited positions for them. If you want to go someone here, probably Blitz at 192. I expect them to pick up a lot of Sensu's roles. And you'll probably need to do a lot more fragging wise for them to even make it. But yeah, this team doesn't have high expectations for this event. For Falcons, they've been kind of poor, like performance wise. Like their ratings are still solid, but just the performances that they put out, like it's just something that's not clicking. I think the coach needs to go. Like he's had too many chances now. Like he has 3 insane riflers in Kyosuke, Nico, and then he has an amazing Opera and Monosi. And he just can't make it right. I think he's just washed, honestly, at this point. But if you want to pick anyone here, Monosi's not bad at 225. I'd rather go him than Kyosuke just because his performance in Pro League. Nico's not bad at 213. And then Kicksan on 186 is not... It's solid. I mean, he's going to face Burst... actually, he's Burst Pro. No, he's facing Tyloo. He could farm there a little bit. I could see that happening. But yeah, this team is, I don't know, it's a little expensive, but they could, take down Spirit and be the team to come out of Group A on top. For Spirit, I mean, the pricing is really good actually for most of these players. A Chopper is fine at 182 if you want to go cheapy. He's not the worst. They should make the playoffs, and he could get carried by Donk. But maybe he might get removed soon, and so would Sway. Maybe Sontix and Magix come back for them too, and it just makes the team a little better. Donk, you know what Donk brings. 240 is quite a bit, but he's the most consistent player, and he's usually one of the best value at the end of the event. Oh, and also remember, this is a group stage event only, so it won't include playoffs. So not like the Bucharest event. So a little bit better there. But the option for sure will have to be Tenier. You have to pick Tenier for this event. He's been good ever since he's arrived for Spirit, and I just think he meshes well with this team. And I think his roles are very well defined, unlike Sway. And Shiro is fine as well. Shiro's a very solid. Actually, I think it's a little bit underpriced for him. But Spirit, definitely you could double up here for sure. For Navi, again, another team that double up is definitely viable. Alexi B is not bad at 183. He's not the best. My favorite option is definitely Ema. He's been basically consistently their first or second best player for a while now, ever since JL left. Bit if you want to spend up a little bit more for their absolute best player. And if you want to double up, it has to be between Makase and Wonderful. I'm gonna go Wonderful just because of the 3k saving, but Makase has a little bit more upside. For G2, again, another team you can double up on. It'll be a little bit tougher because Group P is stronger, but their pricing is a little bit better. My favorite option has to be Matty S at 205. He's first or second, switching between Heavy God now. Miles has just dropped off the face of the earth, but at 196 also very strong. That's probably my favorite double up, but then you can also go differential with some Pious, or spend up a little bit less with Hunter. And Heavy God, he was an MVP for a reason when they won their only title this year. And at 209, he can pop up. So all 5 are viable. It really depends what you pick, but my favorite is Malbs and Matty S. 3 Max, they've had some good performances and they have some bad ones. Probably wouldn't pick them because how strong the field is, but body's not that bad at 193, and Maka is usually up there just because he has the op, but wouldn't pick on 3 Max honestly. FaZe Clan, do we believe in FaZe Clan? I personally don't, but I think the pricing you have an option to pick FaZe because of the pricing. Kerrigan, no, don't pick Kerrigan, and do not pick Jacob. It has to be between Frozen, Twist, and Brokey, the new 3 Musketeers. Twist has been the best so far ever since he's joined. Frozen is solid as well. He's been consistently their best player, so definitely an option there. But I think Brokey is definitely a standout here. 191, you're getting Brokey, you're getting the Opera. He has his inconsistencies. Sometimes he can't hit a shot, and sometimes he hits the most insane shot ever. But at 191, you can't take a chance here. For Astralis, the team looks like it's going to disband at any moment at this point. Like, we still don't know what's going on with the organization itself. And Hooksy looks kind of frustrated sometimes. Last event, they got a little bit unlucky. The device had to miss time, and they had to have their coach stand in. But I don't know if we can trust them here. I mean, if you want to go here, it definitely has to be Stare or Device. Otherwise, wouldn't pick any of them. Magix is not that bad at 184. So look into it if you want a cheapie, but yeah, wouldn't pick into Astralis much. Pain, definitely do not pick into Pain. They could go 0-2 quite quickly. They're just super inconsistent, and you don't know what you're going to get event to event. Probably a bad event, usually, for them. Heroic is an interesting option. They do face Mongols, and they could make some upsets in Group A. Group A is not the strongest. Um, X-Cloud is interesting at 185. So is Youngstar and Nilo. That's the only three I would go with. The rest are LNC, especially, is not known for being a fragging at IGL, and Alcaran is kind of inconsistent for me. He's not there yet from my perspective. Tyloo, you never know with Tyloo. It's in Asia. The group stage will be in front of a crowd, I believe. So Asia buff maybe. I think this is probably the Asian team I would go with out of the Mongols, Tyloo, and Ambition, if I had to go with one. And definitely people like Jam Young at 185. If you really believe in Tyloo, he's gonna be the one that's pop pops. Yi at 188 is pretty strong as well. And then Maseo, he's been more consistent at Mercury, but I like Mercury a little bit more at the price. Virtus Pro, do not go Virtus Pro at all. It's just what is his team now at this point. And then Limbition, again, wouldn't pick into them. So my team will be made up of these players. So I'm going to double up on G2, and then I'm going to go 2-1-1-1 with Tanier from Spirit, Brokey from FaZe, and Imen from Navi. I wish I would have gone a little bit more heavy on Group A. I'm currently just have Tanier and Imen, but the pricing and the upside of these players are really high. Going with Mouse and Marias, like I mentioned, is my favorite duo, and I think they have a chance in Group B to beat Furia and get to the upper side of that Group B half. This right here to the final, so they could make it to the playoffs just by beating Furia. Tanier, Spirit, I think this is the one I'm most sure about to pick from. I think Spirit will make it to the playoffs, and I think Tanier will be a big part of it. Navi as well, I'm quite sure they're gonna make it to the playoffs just because that group is not very strong. And then Brokey is my 191 upside pick. I'd rather go Brokey than go with like a IGL who might not do nothing and then upgrade any of these, because honestly all 5 are strong options already. And yeah, I think that's gonna be my team. Just hoping that hoping that 4 out of the 5 teams that I have, or no, actually 3 out of the 4 teams that I have, make it to the playoffs, and this will be probably a top 10% team, definitely. But yeah, I'm back now, hoping to give you coverage of the final couple events that we have in this year. And yeah, good luck, have fun, and see you for the next one.